Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network here in this show where Albin Larsson and I, Jan Ainali, are editing Wikidata Live. Hello Albin, how are you?
I'm doing great. I just got in here in the last second because today was actually the first day when I could do a really large harvest in my garden. How are you, Jan?
I'm good as well. I haven't really gotten that far that I'm planting things outside yet. I have this sunflower that's doing well, but it's too small to put outside yet. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So what will you be editing today?
I think I will be connecting scientific articles to glaciers.
All right.
Because we have this massive collection of scientific articles and we just need to add main subjects that are as precise as possible. And to do this, I have kind of a bit of a workflow nowadays with PagePile and Tabernacle. So I will combine those and show how I use them. And you, Jan?
That's going to be fun to see because that's a kind of a new workflow. I'm going to try out a totally new tool, and I haven't done the total preparation, so I have tried it even before. So this is going to be you seeing me live trying this out and see if I can even understand the documentation. Right. So the tool I'm going to be trying out is something I saw on Twitter the other week, I guess. It's a cool tool called Projector by Magnus Manske.
As all of those tools.
Yes, as most of the tools. So we'll see. When you come here to the page, it doesn't say much like what it does, but it helps you get an overview of a wiki project on Wikidata. And there's an example link, and it takes a while to load it. So I preloaded it here before. And because it does, I guess, a number of queries behind the scenes. So here we can see this is for the wiki project Corfu. And we have a map, and you can click on these. And I think all of them have different areas. You have some filters. But then you also have a few different tabs where you can see different kind of tools and workflows that you could do. Find images for people or for things and works. And you have the terminators and link to Tabernacle and PetScan as well. So you can go on and do even more things, I imagine. So I'm going to try to set this up for a sub-project of Wikiproject Sweden for one of the counties. And it's a county that already has a sub-project on Wikipedia, and it's quite active. They're having meetups every month. For over a year now, I think they have been virtual, but still. So I'm going to help them set this up, the tool, and see how they like it. And it links to a help page here. So let's go to the help page and see what it says. So if I understood it correctly, let's see if we can scroll down here. First, there's a little things about how it's done, but I think this must be on a sub page. Oh, here we have it. On a sub page to the wiki project. So you have to create exactly this sub page, and it has to be under a Wikidata project like this. So I'm going to start with that. And actually, I'm going to start doing this because I'm not even there yet. So this is going to be some real editing of Wikidata namespace as well. And I'll do this from the wiki project Sweden. In the related wiki project, I'm going to add a link in here. And I'm just going to cut and paste here from a little bit of a preparation. So Xlan is X county, and it's the old abbreviation, or well, the letter for it was X, so they're keeping that as the wiki project. Let's see if it turns up red as it should. Yes, so let's save that one. So first small edit. So let's see if it shows up here. Yes. So I'm just going to click through here. And then I sort of made a very skeleton page here. I'm just pasting in because this is not the interesting part. Let's see if it looks decent. All right. Yes, you have the Borg County. We can have participants. There's going to be a subpage soon, and a link to Wiki Project Sweden, and a big, big, big nav box, which might be handy. Let's save that one as well. So that's the groundwork. Now we started a new wiki project on Wikidata. And let's see. And then it needed to have this specific page. So let's just add it up here. So this is the page, and create source to edit it. Now let's see how it should look like. List of key value pairs, key value. Yes, and we can do it like this with the templates as well, so that it's more human readable. P31 are a valid key. So that's going to be the administrative areas for this. All right. I'm not totally sure yet, so I'm going to take a look at this. Seems to be linking to the Corfu example. This is all right. This doesn't seem too hard. I'm actually going to copy this. Let's copy all of this. And here we're going to say xlan. Hope this doesn't trip things up with our weird. Oh, and then I wanted, let's see, can I do it like this? Yes, I can. Oh no, I couldn't. Where did I go? Here, I wanted to go back to. I could copy from here. All right. So I want the pair as well. How did it look like here? So just a colon and all right. So let's start with this. How does it look like? So this will take everything that's in the county. I guess there's not going to be that many in the county. We're going to need to add the municipalities in it as well. But let's start with if it actually works. Now, how do I get to the? I just made a link. Let's see. Let's see what's happened. All right, we're going here. It's loading. Unfortunately, the blue bar doesn't. Oh, here it comes.
Oh.
All right. I have no idea how this is actually doing it behind the scenes, if it traverses in a path or if it just takes the items in there. We'll see what pops up.
Right. Almost.
Oh, and associated items. So that's, I guess, the other tabs, perhaps, because there were works and people as well.
Right.
Maybe that one can go on and I'll start querying. Maybe I don't need query. Let's see. I go back. I have the counter here. Let's see how many municipalities it is, if it's easier to just copy and paste, or if I should do a quick little query. I'm guessing there's around 10. There's around 10, yes. This one also. Right. Let's do it as a query. This one is going, so let's go here for a query. So now I want to select everything from there. So I go to the query tool and start typing select, and then I'll press Control Enter for this smart pop-up. I'm gonna want the item and the item labels. I know already that I want to get the QIDs so that I can just paste it. And I want everything with P150. I hover over here. You cannot see it because I hidden it with the banner. Let's remove the banner. So when I hover over here, you can see in the bottom P150,
Right.
very small. So I know I want P150, but I also know already, oh, and this is the property, but I also already know which item it was because it's this item. So I'll copy the QID and paste it here. Whoop. What did I do now? Did I close it? No. I closed many things. Why? Oh no. I'll have to start over from the beginning. That was strange. I don't know exactly what I pressed. Select. Computer going slow. All right, and I'll call this the item. Let's see if I get something in 10 or 11. 11, yes. And then I'm just gonna do a quick bind here to QID. And I'm gonna concat. And I want to do this. Let's see. So there's gonna be a few. There's gonna be a few parentheses here. I want to put this in the Q template. So I'm gonna have it like that, and we're gonna put something there, and I'm gonna close it with like this. And in here, I want the item, but that's gonna give me too much, so I'm gonna replace that. So I'm gonna do replace in here, and I'm gonna turn this one thing. Well, let's see if I remember correctly here. Yes. So I want to replace the item, but I first need to turn it into a string. And what I'm replacing it with, because this is going to be a long URI. I'm going to copy here from my preparations. So this is the thing that's over there. And what comes after this will be just the QID. So I'll replace this with an empty. So I'll just remove it. And let's see if everything here goes with the right number of parentheses. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I think there might be one too many there. No, that was right. One too few. One too many there instead. And now what? I forgot one outside here. There we go.
That should do it.
That should do it. And here's the thing, I can just copy and paste. Oh, maybe I should just done it. Let's remove the other things. Oh. Oh no, I want these as well. All right, here we go. And let's see, copy paste. Go back to our projector page here. Is it empty? No. Reload. There we go. And now I'll have, let's see if this worked. Yay!
Nice.
Not sure if this is probably not needed, but it's more beautiful. Let's see if this one loaded now. Oh, yes, it did. Oh, and we found a few fun things as well. This is always good.
Indeed.
Always nice to plot things on a map because it'll show a few.
Russia, Norway.
Yes. So we have two strange things here, which makes the map zoom out a little bit. But let's zoom in here and see. I think we have a lot of things that's wrong in here as well. You can clearly see what should be in here.
Yeah.
And then these might be things that covering both, perhaps.
Yeah, I imagine they're so large that they cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. It doesn't really feel like we need to add really. Maybe we should have, because we're already having 8,000 locations. And I'm guessing if we're adding everything from the municipalities, that's going to be a tough thing. There is an example for Portugal, but when I tried to load that, my browser tab crashed. So maybe I shouldn't. Well, we can always experiment.
I imagine when it starts, because I think the monuments are on one level below, and that would be a lot of items, for example.
That will be a lot of items. Yes.
And maybe the lakes as well.
Yeah. Well, let's just preview this and see if it. So it could be like this. Let me save this, then I can revert. And I open this in a new tab. And this is probably going to take even longer time to load. Well, let's see what we had here. So we had a lot of things. The blue, it says here, and this must be really hard for you to see. If I can do zoom in here. It's still small, but you can see underneath there's a legend down here. The blue points has an image, the red has no image. If it has a thick border, it doesn't have the administrative unit set yet. And if it has a thin border, it has. And if they're green, there's a mix and match entry. So we'll just click one of these. Oh, so we have the lakes over at this level. And I think we've imported like 70,000 lakes from Sweden.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of them. You can see here, there's many tiny lakes.
Oh, so the lakes is actually at this level.
Yes, and we have the nature reserves at this level as well, apparently.
Right.
So what's this? Oh, a reef. All right.
Oh, cool.
And let's see, what blue things do we have? Oh, so this is a parish. And what else?
Nature reserve.
Yep. All right. Already a photo from there. So this is an sort of an alternative to WikiShootMe, I guess. There's also a link here to WikiShootMe directly, which if you see in the bottom, it has the same zoom and map. So it'll just, if I click this, we'll go directly over here. And I imagine this will have too many things to show because I was so zoomed out. Or did it automatically go further in? I did. Or did I end up in Russia? I did. What are these items? Why are these?
Human settlement.
This seems very strange. Let's zoom out on these again.
Yeah.
Or did the WikiShootMe coordinates? They were just strange. Oh, it took the center of this entire map. Or did it? Let's click this one. There's a school. I'm betting this college is not on 59. It's the same here. It's
from that school database we have once had.
Oh, but is this? Do you think it's from the school database?
Yeah, I think it had an external identifier.
Yes. So it's probably wrong in the raw data, because I think this is just an import.
Yeah, and this is like government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would be strange if we managed to do like 1,000 schools right and only one wrong.
Yeah, indeed.
And the Norwegian one was a hospital. This, I don't know of any import of hospitals. So this is probably, oh, this is a Norwegian hospital.
Oh, let's see if it has the...
So it's called Sandviken, but there's also Sandviken in Sweden.
Yeah, it's Sandviken in Bergen, right?
Yes, so this is...
Coaster.
We have a warning here. And that's another...
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure this goes to the wrong Sandviken. This is going to the Swedish Sandviken. Yes, all right.
Yeah.
So we'll fix this because this is an easy one. So you said Sandviken Bergen.
Let's see what it autocompletes. At least
traditional neighborhood of Bergen, Norway. Let's go with that.
I'm pretty sure that's it. I think we want to remove the reference there.
Yes, we want to. No, wait, the reference might be correct because it's probably not stating.
Yeah, let's double check at least.
It says Bergen here.
Yeah, that's the correct one.
And it's also
even
said
has
another.
QID.
Which was that the QID for?
Yeah, let's see if that points to the correct one.
It's this one. Yes. So this is for the school or the hospital. Okay. All right. So this one is correct. We can say remove warning.
Nice.
And let's see if I... now I'm in WikiShootMe. I don't want to be there. Okay, this one... So it didn't add that many when I added the municipalities, because I think that was 18871, and when I added it, it was 8874. So only 3. So I think it traversed it in some way already before that. That's good to know. And then we also had some people here, and it's going to show people that are born, dead, or worked within this. So you can work on all the people from this area or related to the area, and things are fewer. So that could be, all right, we have a lot of various things here, or clubs, football clubs, soccer clubs, colleges. And what was the last one? Works. All right, works. We're here. Open data portals. I'm not sure why they have coordinates. They shouldn't have coordinates. Oh, they don't. They're just... they're located in them. They might be. A little bit weird, but yes. Then we do have some real works over here. And as you can see, you can do a lot of filtering here. These are some of the other tools that you might already be working with. I personally really like this recent changes sparkle tool. And this one seems to go directly to a link like that. So that was sort of what I wanted to show. It was fairly easy to just set up this page. Nice. And then you can add even more according to the over here. You can also add areas if you have not as many items already tagged. And there's even wanted almost to try it out, but I think we not need it. So you can apparently underneath the map there should be. So let's go to the map. So you can add a map area by clicking here, and then draw this, and it will create something that you can just cut and paste here in the bottom. So you don't need to go to another tool to figure out how it should be formatted. It's really handy in that way.
Indeed.
I think my computer is a little bit too slow to handle it with all these items loaded.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but super useful to find a bunch of errors and things like that.
Yes.
Like things that shouldn't have coordinates, or just items in the wrong place.
Yeah. Or just having something where you try to go from red to blue with everything.
Yeah, like a discovery too.
Yeah. So I think that's what I wanted to show for you today. It didn't go that deep, but at least I think you now know about it, so you can start exploring it yourself.
Nice. I am gonna keep on a bit of a similar track because I'm gonna show 2 author tools made by the same person. So something I quite often find myself doing is working with rather long tasks that is like never ending. And sometimes when they are about, for example, scientific articles, I just can't do it in SparkQL because we have so many scientific articles. My queries will time out no matter what, especially if I want to work with like 500 items at a time or 1,000 items at a time. And so I've ended up doing a bit of a different workflow without SparkQL for adding the main subject to papers about glaciers. So essentially adding just the particular glacier it's about, finding those and editing those like in a nice way. So I'm gonna use two tools, actually three tools. I'm gonna use the Wikidata search interface with a bit of, because it's very powerful. We are very used to SparkQL, but we can do kind of cool things even in just the regular search. And then I'm gonna use PagePile, another tool by Magnus, which allows us to turn various type of lists or searches or SparkQL into just lists of items. And then I'm gonna take that list, bring it to another tool by Magnus, Tabernacle, that allows us to edit like Wikidata in a spreadsheet form, a bit like Excel. So I'm gonna start by showing what I usually do to start working on items like scholar papers about various glaciers, for example, or in a different subject. So Wikidata has this nice thing, and actually any Wikibase, including Wikimedia Commons, that you can type something like has VB for Wikibase statement, and then we can say actually a property like P31 for instance of, and say that should be equal to, and then I can pick from my notes here the scholarly article. And this would be like an impossible query in the SparkQL interface. I think it's somewhere around 60 millions nowadays.
Oh, yes.
But if we actually run this here, we get a result. We can get 500 at a time with the regular.
You also saw there 37 million.
Yeah, 37 million.
That's a quick count also.
And it's super quick. Compared to SparkQL, this is great if you're getting timeouts, but have a rather basic query. And you can also do things like minus here. So give me all items that isn't a scholarly article, and we still get a result. And we can actually combine this. So we could add another has VB statement here. We can actually do it like this. So if it only has instance of, and things like that. But I'm gonna keep here with my scholar articles. And now let's pick a famous glacier, like the Fox Glacier on New Zealand. So then I can type something like this, Fox Glacier, like your regular text search, but here that it should be exact. But I can add a star here as well in case it's like glaciers, because it might mention another one. So this should give me, let's see here, everything that has instance of scholarly article and also mentions in the description or label or aliases, Fox Glacier, and maybe something just after that. So I'm gonna search for this. Let's see what we get. Okay, we get a couple of ones. And now I could inspect those like one by one. And usually when we got like 3 here, it's usually quite doable. And we can see that this, for example, only has the main subject Glacier and New Zealand. And I believe we could replace both of those with the actual glaciers. We got 2 of them. They are just next to each other. But very often we can get a lot more here. We can maybe have a nature reserve that's very popular, and we may get 200 scholarly articles about it, or a type of flower or something like that. So what I can do then is to head over to another tool called PagePile, and I'm gonna click Create New Pile, and this can create lists from all of the various Wikimedia projects. But here, for example, we can also put in a manual list of articles, Wikipedia articles, Wikidata items, and so on. I want to say here that I want to work with Wikidata. And it says I don't need to change the language because it ignores it when I use Wikidata. So this can use a bunch of ink. It can use SparkQL. It can use the paste bin. it can use content mine, it can use query, like query the actual Wikimedia databases. And it can use a search, which is exactly what we want here. So I'm just gonna go over to my search, even if it's just 3 items here. I'm gonna paste this search in here. Having verified it that it works in the regular interface, I'm gonna say all namespaces. I'm gonna say translate result to Wikidata items immediately. Here you can actually do, if case you do like a Wikipedia search and get articles, you can use this and still just get a QID for that article. I'm gonna click do it. Let's see. We got an ID here. It's what I use. I head back to the, not that one. Gonna click back. Oh, I didn't log in, but let's see if I can get the most recent one anyways. Yes, so I paste in it here, the page pile ID I just got. Go there and we see I got 3 items. And here I can select a couple of formats, among them plain text, which I'm gonna click here. You can't see this, it prompts me for download. I just gonna temporarily open it and copy paste the raw content. Now I can use this in another too. So I'm gonna head over to called Tabernacle, which I have here. And this is essentially a way to edit Wikidata in a tabular way. So I'm gonna click new tabular view. You see here we could use a SparkQL query, but in many cases like this one, it's not optimal to actually use SparkQL. We can use a page pile ID or we can use a manual item list. I actually gonna try the page pile ID here. So copy this one that we just generated, head over here, paste in the ID. Then I can add columns. And here essentially I add the various type of values I can change. And I'm mostly interested in main subject, but I also want to be able to see the label and the description. So I'm gonna start here by using label. I'm gonna say English, Swedish, and Norwegian bookmall. Add column. I'm gonna add the description here. Gonna do the same languages. And I want to do the actual property. So let's see here. The number for main subject is P921. P921. I'm gonna click add column. That should be added. Let's see if it, click run. And I get an actual tabular view here. And among other things, it lists the main subject. Now we're gonna log in to edit, which I should have done before. Let's hope it saves this. Otherwise, it would be a lesson. Oh, let's see. Can I see the most recent ones? No. Okay. Page pile ID. Gonna copy it. Put it there. Add a column. I want to be able to see the label. I want to see it in English, Swedish. Let's go with that for now. I want to be able to see the description. Actually, I don't care about the description because it's just article or scientific article here. Property, it's 921. And that's not a 9. And it should be P as well. And I want to run that. And yes, now we can see here. So we got the 3 results we got in PagePile as well as our search results. And I can actually edit this now. I'm gonna zoom in a little here. And we can see a reference and qualifiers, or let's see, yes. So it's based on deducted from the title, okay. But I can actually see the actual glaciers here. So this gives me a super nice way to scroll through this if I had a lot of items. So let's see if we can edit this. I want to add one. This is a star, add new entry, exactly. So can I exit that one? Oh, let's see if it exits. Escape. Yeah. I actually want to remove both of those because if I add the glaciers, you can kind of see both the country because it includes the location, as well as the glacier because we actually have a glacier. So I'm just making this more precise.
You're not want to edit just a glacier because the qualifier was quite good.
Yeah. So I might actually use the glacier one and type here. First we have Fox Glacier, and here we need to be certain that you see there are a couple of glaciers called Fox Glacier. There is one in Canada and one in Antarctica as well, but the most famous one comes first. It's the glacier in New Zealand. Great reason to add descriptions. And it turned very dark here. But it seemed to have made the trick anyway. Oh, there then. And I can actually reuse this as well because we still need to add Orchard Glacier. And as Jan said, the qualifiers was pretty good already because I'm actually using the title to add those statements.
But this one didn't have the qualifier.
Oh, it didn't.
I
think it had.
Only one had.
Okay. Or? Let's see when I.
Are you going in Franz Josef?
Yes. Why am I jumping New Zealand? France. Joseph. Let's see if we get a glacier. Seems to have a bit of a headache today. Let's see if I retype that. Yeah, exactly when I removed it, it showed.
Yeah.
Now it seemed to be right. Can we also get a glacier? Did I type it correctly? I did.
You did. Oh no, too many Franz Josefs.
Let's.
Wait, just when you removed the G, it actually showed up there.
There we go. That's it. Let's see. Let me double check. Yes, that's it. And it did this interesting thing. Let's see. No, that one did not have the reference. Okay.
Yeah. Is it black while it's actually doing the editing?
It appears so.
Yeah.
We can just double check this actually. Let's go to my contributions. Let's see. Yeah, so we can see that I have been editing this article here. Let's have a look at the diff. Property main subject, Franz Josef Glacier, as well as the name in Maori. It's very common in New Zealand that they have both of them in the English one. Right, here we got stable isotope. Also, Fox Glacier. We have a glacier here, which is kind of what I want to make more precise. Based on heuristic deducted from the title, it's kind of what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna keep that statement. Let's see if it's more awake. It is. Maybe was it a temporary thing? Maybe it's doing the edit. And there we go. And then the last one here, we got another one about both of the glaciers actually, both Franz Josef Glacier and the Fox Glacier. Gonna edit this one out because glacier isn't necessary anymore. So Fox Glacier in New Zealand. It appears to be making the edit. I can click this star here to make a new one. Let's see how it goes this time. First use of Classier in New Zealand. It does the editing. Right. And that's those three. It makes it for a kind of nice workflow instead of opening just a bunch new tab, scrolling down to adding new statement, and doing it manually that way. And it makes for a pretty good workflow. For example, you can kind of save this for later. Let's just replace this with another common Glacier. We can take one in South America here to mix it up a little. Again, just 5. And you can for example, combine this with a has VB statement minus has VB statement, and then the main subject set to the actual Glacier you're looking for to exclude that, to make the list even shorter and more simple. But again, doing this, can head over to page pile, and that URL is still for the old tool create new pile. We want to remove Wikipedia, say data, and we want to use search. We want to put a star here, search all namespace, translate to Wikidata items. We're going to copy this number, head over to Tabular.
Notice a little thing there in the page pile tool.
Yes.
You have this drop down, use it in one of these tools.
Yeah.
And it has almost everyone except Tabernacle.
It has a bunch of tools, but I think at some point this connection broke as well. Page pile doesn't seem to be the most updated tool.
No, unfortunately, we cannot see the drop down either when you click it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it lists a bunch of them, but as you said, Tabernacle is not one of them.
No.
And it has some, for example, if you click view results here, you will always get a 404 and a couple of things like that.
Yep.
So this is how I end up doing it. Maybe one could even optimize it a bit more if you know the URL, so to say. And maybe you could have like a link that creates this, with... I imagine you can, because you actually had this Tabernacle connection from the projector tool, which you just showed, right?
Yep.
So you should probably be able to set this up with all columns ready and so on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add the label, EM Swedish, and P921. And click run. Yes, and here we got those 5. And again, not even all of this has Glacier, so that's great. So here I can just go, the wrong copy here. Copy the name of the Glacier. Glacier, there we go. It's an easy one to get. There aren't other ones named that way. Then I'm gonna edit Glacier here. And as you see, once it's... Actually, you can start doing the next one while it edits. So one can be rather effective this way. I can just go ahead. There we go. I want to edit this one, which says Glacier. And there we go. So you see, you can be rather effective when you learn it. And essentially getting rid of that opening a bunch of tabs, this makes it a rather neat workflow in my experience. And especially when taking advantage of the super fast search in the regular search box. And you can actually do rather advanced things here. Like you see that I'm using like various things for doing various types of text searches. You can use like regular expressions here if you know it. And has VB statement does not only work with like property and item. You can here say like an external identifier and the value of it, and just browse hundreds of items at a time. So it can be a really nice way to work around some of the problems with SparkQL, which also like if you use your basic SparkQL queries that returns a lot of items and do queries like this instead, you're also like leaving room for other people that actually need SparkQL. It's a bit of a shared service, so to say.
Yes, that's a great point.
And I'm gonna look up the help page for this search syntax so I can share it with all of you.
I think Nicholas also had a great point here. When you went in Tabernacle, it actually puts everything into the URL, so you could just build it up there if you wanted to, because that's just a page ID.
Yeah, so we can actually see here if we take a closer look. This appears to be the page pile ID. And here we actually see the label English followed by Swedish. And here we actually got the property number for main subject. So you could essentially, for example, you couldn't build this with a SparkQL query as well, I imagine, like we showed a week or two ago when we made a SparkQL query in a SparkQL query, and you could just click it. You can do something like that with Tabernacle.
And this is also by being able to share this or link it from your wiki project. It also like it can be a great tool, Tabernacle in itself, for like a larger task that you're doing together collectively with a few other people.
Yeah. And let's see if I can get the help page. Yes. So let me add it as banner. So here you can actually find the help page for making searches on Wikidata in just the regular search field, and it includes a bunch of things here. So let's see, for example, you can parsing quotes to get exact thing. You can have various wildcards and modifiers like this string should not be in the label or description, as well as more Wikibase specific things like this has VB statement. There should be a couple of examples here as well. Here it actually shows like would this match, and it has a couple of examples how you can query things. Another couple of examples for querying flowers. Here, for example, it wouldn't return. Here it would, and how it's tried to be smart. Prefix and namespaces as well. So that's super useful, again, if you end up having queries that times out in SparkQL. Right. And I think that's it for me.
Yeah, I just want to build upon what you said, since we have a minute or two here, and just go, because sometimes you have a query, like you said, it's easily timing out. And now I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get back and show it.
Yeah, so something I just discovered actually with Tabernacle, I just tried it in another window, is that you can kind of put in a manual list of QIDs as well, and that goes into the URL as well. So
Yeah.
pretty much any
So
tool works.
for example, if you want to search for all the humans, there's also like 9 million of them we can see quickly here, and that's also quite hard to query for sometimes when you're going for a large set. So it went very quick in this interface though, so that's nice.
And it went like instantly as well.
Yeah, and then you can go, and I'm gonna copy paste from here, and we can see how many of these 9 millions. Oh,
yeah,
that
you're
should be
gonna
an
need
equal
the
sign.
Yeah.
And it's oh no.
I think you might need to be able to say or here somehow.
But I want them both.
Yeah, and exactly. Let's see. I don't think that's it, but
No.
I'm sure it's
yes. All right. So P27 is something else.
Oh.
So that's why we didn't get any. There we go. So 1.7. Right. So 1. That should be about 20%. A little bit more.
Yeah. And for people like that build tools as well, this is a great way instead of SparkQL to make like automated things, because you can do all of this with the API, of course, as well.
And if you try to put it as citizenship, you didn't get any at all, of course. All right. Yes. So that's a tip. Use the search box. It's powerful.
Indeed, it's worth learning.
Yeah. And next week, it's on the weekend. It's the MediaWiki Hackathon. So I'm not sure if we're going to be here with the regular show, but there's going to be a few Wikidata related things. We are a few people planning a challenge. It's not really hacking, but it's puzzle solving with Sparkle. And I think we're going to get that together. And I also think that Nicholas, who's in the chat here, is helping out with that, and Andrew Lee. So that might be a fun thing to, if you want to get your mind off the actual hacking and just focus on something else for a while.
Yeah, just enjoying writing SparkQL queries with other people. Get to learn people as well. If you want to get more into the technical community, that's a great way to do it.
All right. And with that, I guess we say happy querying.
Happy querying.